Beautiful stuff. Yeah, just beautiful. Good morning, everyone. Well, now we wait. See, people come in late. That's why we have this warming up. We set it up so that I come out and warm up the few that are out here. Then there's announcements. Then there's a prayer. And then by that time, there's people here. So then the speaker comes out and takes over. But I've been paying attention to all of the things that are taking place with the Supreme Court. I mean, they're outlawing abortions, outlawing contraceptives, outlawing, they're getting around to outlawing all these different things that have to do with same-sex marriage and stuff like that. I think they need to really just get to the place we all want them to get to and just outlaw sex. So you're allowed to use that, by the way, because that's original. I was standing back there, so what am I going to say today? And that came to me. Is there anybody here from another unity? Anybody here for the first time? Oh, back there, raise your hand high. We have a gift for you. There you go. Look at that. It's a bag of marijuana. All right. Hi. All right, the world is evolving, and believe it or not, all that seems to be going wrong will serve to bring about a new awakening, and that's what we're involved in doing. And you are going to love this talk that Syntysche is going to give.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Unity of Boulder. My name is Mike Shadle. I'm the administrator here. So if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, please come see me. My office is right there in the bookstore. I always love to chat, so don't be shy. I've got a few quick announcements here to start things off with. One, I've made this announcement a few times, but I'm going to make it again. If you're watching this on live stream at home right now, please click that like button. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, there's always a little like button right there. It helps us spread the videos a little bit wider. And same thing with you here in-house. If you're watching it and this message today touched you, go home and or when you leave, click find it on your phone and hit that like button. Or if you know someone who might be touched by today's message, share it to them. That helps us out tremendously, just to get our word out and you know, keep growing. And that's what we always want to do. So another huge thing you can do to help us is we are now the Boulder County Best of Boulder called BOCO Gold with the daily camera is that's up and running right now, and we actually had put it up on our website. So if you just go to unityofboulder.com, right on the website you can go in there and enter your vote for Unity of Boulder as the best house of worship in Boulder County. We love winning that award. We've won it quite a few times thanks to our wonderful congregation. So please do that. Let's see. Oh, Syntysche, during this is an announcement for the people who are watching us on live stream. If you're watching us specifically on unityofboulder.com, Syntysche at one point is going to call the people in-house here to pull out a worksheet. Well, just under where the video is, there is a link you can click if you want to download and print that worksheet so you can do the work yourself. Just some new things we're trying out here. So now I would like to welcome today's musical guest, which I'm very happy to have him on our stage as our musical guest, but it's a little bittersweet, wouldn't you say, Joel? Yeah. Our guest today is Joel Plimmer. He's been with us, I don't know how long. 15 years. Today is his last day performing on stage as part of our official Unity band. You know, Joel, I started in about a week and a half. It'd be my 10-year mark of when I started here. On that day, I came in, just worked around the office, got familiar with the place for a few hours. Then they sent me home to come back and learn how a meditation service works that night, which you were doing the sound for. Well, I came and I met you. Well, I was gone for like 4 hours. And what you didn't know, I went to the hospital to meet a friend who was dying, said goodbye, and then came in here and had to have a happy face on.
Holy cow.
Your calm, smooth demeanor just smoothed that right over, and I was able just to get right in. And that's the guy you've been as long as I've known you. Joel Plimmer, we will miss you, sir. And he's going to be, this song right here he's going to be performing is a Joel Plimmer original, and he's going to be joined by a familiar face, Marcy Baruch. Welcome back. All right, take it away.
Thanks, Mike. Well, I'm better at music than words, so we're just going to play this one. It's called Carry You, and Marcy's going to be singing. It's going to be great.
Marcy, you sound so amazing. And Jules, you both, what a blend you two have. It's beautiful. Thank you. Wonderful way to start. Oh, Joel, can you do the music for the meditation later? Forgot to ask you earlier. We had a few things that we were working through, like the microphones from last week. That's what we were very focused on. I apologize for what we went through with technical difficulties. That was fun. So I had a little PTSD this morning because it was just clicking in and out the whole time. And in the moment, it didn't bother me, but as the week went on, it freaked me out how out of control you feel by technology, and you depend on it and the flow and trying to stay on task of the sermon. And so I had a real test last week. So today, my talk title is Creating a New World of Peace and Harmony. And I'm leaving the talk series that I was giving up till now. I did about 4 talks on the many different laws of attraction, all of the avenues into attracting all of the good that we are looking for in the world. This talk is going to go a little bit deeper, but it's also going to be using the tools we worked with for the last 4 weeks. And I'm going to actually go back into that series again later. I just want to take a little break and a little breather, and then we'll go back in it, because I feel like that one isn't quite done. So, all right, so I just wanted to start with a saying that I was looking at a book on my bookshelf before I walked out here, and it's an Esther Hicks book, and the title of it is Ask and It Shall Be Given. Ask and it shall be given. And and obviously in the Bible we know it's ask and it shall be added unto you. But everybody uses these different words. But do you believe, like we have to ask ourselves when you read those words, ask and it shall be given. Do you believe that when you ask, it will be given, right? This could be a few things. We could look at it from a couple different lenses. It could be a lens of do you feel worthy enough that if you ask, will it be given, right? Or the second is, do you believe that the universe wants to give it to you? And what is the universe? What is God? What is spirit? Like, how do we look at it? And I'm going to be covering that today. Like, the whole idea of getting rid of this God outside of us. Every avenue of religion in the past, it gives us a God that is actually outside of us, and it's not found within us. So we're going to talk about how that language has actually maybe hindered us more than helped us. So I just want to read this slide, and I actually got this from a book that was shared with me with a friend of mine that I went to lunch with, who's a really special person from our center. And she said, I think you're going to really like this book from the talk series that you've been giving. And when she said it, I knew I had to get the book. I've got to go get the book. And I came back to the store, and I said, Heather, order this and see if you can get it as quick as possible. And I went somewhere, and I came back, and it was sitting on my desk. I was like, that is the quickest ask, and it will be given, right? We happen to have it in our stores. So this is how it goes. I'm going to read this to you. The human race has reached a time of choosing. Our options are being placed before us by the tide of events and by those who are creating them. We can either move forward, building together at last a new world of peace and harmony based on new beliefs about God, source, spirit, and life, or move backward, separately and continuously reconstructing the old world of conflict and discord based on old beliefs about God and life. How long we can keep ourselves going if we continue to choose the old ways is open to speculation, but ultimately our civilization, assuming no dramatic alteration in our present pattern, will simply cave in on itself. And everything I see tells me we are just years, not centuries, not decades, but years away from that. I'm going to keep this as an up service, but I get that those words could be kind of nerve-wracking when you read them. But we all really know that that's the reality that we're in. So I feel like it's time to take these tools we talked about for the last 4 weeks and really look at our beliefs. That's what we're going to talk about. So we've been talking about the law of attraction. We've been talking about intention. We've been talking about what we're feeling and what we're creating. But we have to look at the philosophies that made us who we are to this day and how those are either helping us or they are hindering us, okay? I think we can all agree that the above wording resonates with many of us, and that is why in the last 4 weeks at Unity, I've been sharing an interactive study group format, the how to let go of the old ways of being, feeling, thinking from our own individualized experience that is contributing to the demise of our world and our beautiful planet. I've shared that with free will, you get to pick to what degree of alignment you are in about everything. That's why intention, discipline, and integrity matters. And alignment with your spirit and knowing yourself matters. Everything matters because the law of attraction is always active. So last week we were talking about integrity, and our worksheet was on that, and that was some powerful work, and I think it was kind of an intense work. We shared it in groups. We had only 8 people at that one, but I noticed that all the phone calls all week, people wanted to work that sheet with me, the things that came up later, and that's perfectly fine. I'm here for that. I just want us to be able to take these tools and truly apply them and live them. I don't want to be a talking head up here that inspires you for this hour and then maybe for an hour you remember what's going on. That's what the worksheet's about, is to work with this work and see if it can start to shift some of the areas in your life where you're feeling stuck. So let's look at the old ways. Most people can accept that God's great truths have come to humans through humans. They simply cannot accept, though, that this could be true of humans living today. Okay, this is how many of us think. This is how we have it constructed. So we look back on these seers that way precede us, way back where life was so different, and we couldn't possibly imagine that each and every one of us is the second coming of this divine love that needs to enter this world and this planet yesterday. It needs to. And that we can't trust each other to actually lean and grow and blow into this, the promises that Jesus said that you can work these miracles and more. Every one of the religions have said that to us. But then in other passages, they tell us, though, but you have to do this, or you're a sinner, or you have to go this way to get to God. And they make this whole obstacle course. So it's confusing. And we get very confused. Right? But when you read the passages of Jesus, directly from Jesus, he says, you are the way, the truth, and the light. You can work these miracles and more. He was demonstrating what we are in expansion. But then you get to the later books in the Bible, and it does all this guilt and all these things, and that's what works to keep churches full. Because it's guilt, and it's shame, and it's all the things to feel less than holy and perfect. So this is the old way. This is Neil Donald Walsh from his book, New Revelations. If it's old, it's worthy. This is how some of us think. If it's new, it's unworthy. If it's old, it's true. If it's new, it's false. If it's old, it's right. If it's new, it's wrong. If it's old, it's good. If it's new, it's bad. Well, the old is what's gotten us to the point we're at right now. We have to find what's new. We have to find a new consciousness. We have to find higher levels of frequencies that we can abide with this greater power and be a part of, because it's from us as a collective that will make the differences that we are all praying for every day. But we want somebody else to do it for us, and it's just simply not that way anymore. No one's doing it for us. We have to do this from our guts, with our intention, with our integrity. We do it for our children and 7 generations down the road. That's what the Native Americans taught their families, but we weren't taught that in Christianity. We were told that we have dominion over the animals and the planet and everything. We have dominion because we are the best. We can just stomp and destroy, but because we're the highest something. But it didn't say to love the animals and to protect this planet. It didn't say to protect each other, to get out of division and get into the unity of this divine oneness. So has religions helped us, or has it hindered us? Because look at the separation in our world right now. So this particular mindset is what makes progress on your planet so difficult and evolution so time-consuming. What complicates all this is that, as you have constructed it, this mindset applies only to things, that is, inanimate objects and to ideas. Ironically, when it comes to people, you have it constructed the other way around. We need to get it constructed this way. If it's new, it's worthy. If it's old, it's unworthy. Because we're all changing. We're going to this higher frequency. That higher frequency means we're undoing what no longer serves the world, people, and humanity, and the planet, right? If it's new, it's worthy. If it's old, it's unworthy. Thus, your society dismisses out of hand some of the brightest new ideas that are out there, like the science about our environment. And what we have to do, it's not sort of have to do. I mean, before we used to hear 20 and 30 years down the road, we're going to be in real trouble that we can't turn it around. The last I heard was 3 years that we can't turn it around. That was a scientist at the Unity Worldwide Ministries Conference that talked about veganism and our diets and how we can just help with that. But then obviously it comes to the cars. It comes to all the things that we're doing to contribute to being a collective co-creator with this greater power, which is our soul, that's divinely connected from here. See, when I was growing up, my mother homeschooled my brothers and I till we were in junior high school. My mom always told us that she did that because of all the damage she had from bullies in her formative years. She wanted to give us a step up in the world with a whole sense of self, without the feedback of other children's opinions of us. My mother took us into nature frequently, educating us on all the different herbs growing in the nature and how they could be used for healing our bodies. She educated us on the plants that we could eat and which ones were poisonous, just in case we got lost in the woods and needed some sustenance for a few weeks. Because she was that mom. She could have probably accidentally left you in the woods, but she was a good mother. I actually did get lost in the woods once, by the way. I think you've heard that story. And I have an incredible sense of direction now. We had a meditation room in our house, and we meditated together every morning, first thing out of bed. We'd sit in this little room with our pajamas still on. And my mom would read a passage from a book every day. My mom would read a passage from Edgar Cayce books to contemplate in meditation about reincarnation and how we have all been here before, and that we have come here for a very specific reason, for us to discover throughout our lives what that reason was for. She let us know that we have traveled together, me and my brothers and my mom and my dad, that we've traveled together many lifetimes, and that it was possible that last time I could have been my mother's mother, or my brother could have been my son last time. So to never fear death, because we will all see each other again. So we could be in a state of wholeness, because there was no bullying in our lives, and also know that death is nothing to be afraid of. So that was in my formative childhood years. My mom would read from the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna explains that we are spirit souls and not these material bodies. Our bodies are composed of matter and will be destroyed in no time. However, the spirit soul, the inhabitant or the occupant of the body, is indestructible. She'd read from the Bible, and she would explain that she was only reading from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John because these were the teachings of Jesus directly from Jesus. These stories are about what you are capable of. Jesus is not a go-between you and God. Jesus is the highest example of what you are capable of being in expression. When I was little, I dreaded meditation time. It was a lot of being still when I was wiggly, spastic self that just wanted to romp and play. But from my vantage point now, I am so grateful I was shown the importance of this communing with the greatest divinely guiding energy that comes from within. So I never did get that message of being a sinner or being less than worthy. I had boyfriends later that did a good number, so I got to get there, but it was human beings that did it, not, religious teachings. But I'm sharing this because that was a highly conscious person that raised me from absolute brutal childhood. Her childhood took her innocence away, and she extremely still doesn't trust people. She has a very hard time with the interaction with people because of her life. She grew up in show business, she grew up on TV, and that makes you popular now, but it didn't in her childhood. It made her separate and apart and feeling completely alone and never learned those social skills. So her want to give us this powerful life came from pain. Right, so you can get to the light, though, from your pain. And many of us have areas where we've been cut, but we have to learn where the limitlessness is in us, because in every area we have the ability to change it right here and right now. So you too can understand enormous truths. You too can be deeply inspired. Do you think these experiences are reserved for the very few? I tell you, they are meant for the very many. Divine inspiration is the birthright of every human being. You are all very special. You simply do not know that, and you might not even believe it. So your religions maybe have told you that you are not. They have told you that you are sinners, that you are unworthy, that only a very few among you have achieved a level of worthiness to be inspired directly by God. And that all of those people are dead now, like those people that would teach you about it. They have convinced you that no one living today could possibly achieve that level of worthiness, and hence any book that's being written by all the seers that are walking in the midst of you could actually change the world right now. And that's just simply not, because we have to now look at what's new, what our consciousness is, what we've faced, because we've birthed in a life of so much challenges. We are now at this tipping point. Are we going to finally live it? Or are we just going to go back into separation and put our blinders on and go, I guess we lost this battle? Or we can ignore it until it's too late. I don't want to do that. I want a place on this planet for my children and my grandchildren and their children. I'm not standing up here to be something separate than you. I'm not. I'm exactly you. I have no special abilities beyond you, except that I know that I don't have a relationship with a God outside of myself, and I want to mirror that back to you, so that you may be the disciples in this world to move other people's lives, so we can all collectively become one in this healing that is so needed right now. See, all Muslims seek to emulate the life of Muhammad. All Christians seek to emulate the life of Christ. All Buddhists seek to emulate the life of Siddhartha Gautama. Do you not believe that you would do well to emulate the lives of your greatest spiritual masters? Well, to emulate means to strive, to equal, or excel. Now think about those two words, to strive or excel. Now, would it not be the cruelest hoax of all time to encourage you to emulate the lives of your greatest masters in one breath, and then in another breath declare that it is impossible? Who's had that experience in their religious backgrounds? So, my mom and I have many CDs together where we sing chants, and she wrote most of them, and I would put the accompaniment and the harmonies together with them. And there was one song that I would sing with her, and it bothered me, but I knew she loved it so much, so I'd sing it with her. But then one day it just irritated me because the song just didn't resonate with me at all. And it went, I am not forsaken. God's pure love flows through me. I don't know if I can sing it now. I am not forsaken. God's pure love enfolds me. And it would actually, I'd get like agitated when we sang it, and I said to her, I just don't feel that. I don't feel forsaken. I don't understand this song. And she's like, but that's because you weren't raised in Christianity. And here I'm a Christian minister, but I'm a New Thought Christian minister, and this just shows you where it's so separate. It's the training that I have is very different. I know the Bible, but I don't relate with the parts that would make me separate from and having a direct connection with God. Now, from this vantage point that I'm looking at and understanding people's plight in life, I think that song's maybe one of the most beautiful songs she's written. It's interesting perspective, right? Looking back on the way I was raised and writing it out and going, I wouldn't believe that if somebody said that. I wouldn't believe that somebody had a childhood like that. And to be in such a state of gratitude for that gift this lifetime. I don't think I've done even nearly as good as she did with raising kids. Of course, I've been working full-time the whole time, so I'm going to love myself anyways. See, we don't give ourselves enough credit. We give a blind eye to all the mystical things occurring on a daily basis. We shrug off our intuitive hits. We might experience moments where we can actually hear someone else and what they're thinking in their mind's eye, and then question if that was real or not, instead of understanding that we aren't limited by words for understanding. We are energy. And if you think people don't know what you are thinking and feeling, if you think you can hide in your mind, just as you can feel what's going on with someone else, they can with you as well. I'm not trying to make you paranoid here. But the truth is we have high abilities, but it's the beliefs that have made us believe that we don't have high abilities. And once you take that trapping off yourself and the jail bars of that, you will awaken to a mystical life. You will be guided to where you are being called to heal and help others as you're healing yourself and others. Don't feel yourself. If you think you are keeping something from someone, they can feel it just as you feel it. We can remote view another in far places and communicate with anyone you want to communicate with from one end of the earth to another. I know many people that have this ability, and I've done it when I've been so out of myself, right? When I was so out of the human self and in the spiritual realm, I've seen what they're eating, I've seen what's going on in other countries of people that I've loved. You can move trees by becoming one with a tree and swaying with it. Then you start to sway a little further and watch how the tree starts to follow you. You have to start testing the power of the vibration that you are and how much it moves the world. See, now that we're getting these high 5D frequencies, and I think many of you are going even beyond the 5D, you're probably going to 6 and 7 and 8 at this point. Now start playing with the magic of that. You can heal your friends. You can remind them that they can heal their bodies. You can help somebody feel loved that's never felt seen or cared for. You can pet a squirrel if you get into that vibration. You can look at hummingbirds and they will land on you when you get into a vibration of a hummingbird. My thing is better than this. I meditate. This person doesn't. This person eats like shit, excuse my language, and this person eats really good. Right? I don't know how that just came out of my mouth. You know what it is? I say that to my teenagers because they're all eating like, okay. and it's annoying me. Thank you. I don't need your emails. I just own myself. So, right after I finished writing the sermon, I had about an hour and a half to run out before my kids came home, and I had to get my nails done. And I know that sounds like a bougie thing, but I really actually hate getting my nails done, but it's just kind of part of the life that I'm in, and it was like an emergency. I had to go, and I went to my normal nail place, and I didn't make an appointment. And when I got there, I parked, and I saw a mother and her daughter walking ahead of me, and I know there's only 2 nail people inside. And they were really enjoying their day and really slowly walking, and I knew that I could just really walk to that door. And that's the old way, okay? And it was so clear. It was like, okay, I do have to be somewhere in an hour and a half, but I can be late because I kind of tend to never late. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to let them go ahead of me. So they went in, and I go in, and one's getting a pedicure, one's getting a manicure, and then they asked me, what do you want? Because the guy knows me there, and he's kind of silly. And I was like, I just need to get my nails done. And he sits me down. And I immediately get to the daughter, and the nail technician sits down with me. And the mother, the woman that was ahead of me, is sitting down here. And again, here's an opportunity. I'm like, okay, I've got God's favor. I can take this opportunity and be on time. But it wasn't right. It wasn't fair. They were taking me before this woman that had come in before me. So I said, she's first. She came in first. And the technician goes, oh, he'll get to her in this very gruff way. And I looked over at her, and I could feel 150% how she has felt like she's been treated like that her whole life. I could not get these people to do the right thing for what this woman's heart needed in that moment. Why I was getting this divine favor is because I tip really big and they know it. I know that's why. So it was about money. It wasn't about caring about this girl's having a wonderful day out with her daughter, and this is a special day. Like, you could feel this was a special, I'm rushing in there to do this for like work. This is their special day, and she's now been made to feel less than. And I felt what she was saying to herself, and she wasn't blaming me. It touched her that I tried to get her the service she deserved. But even then, that wasn't enough. And we've been talking about this for the last few weeks. When you harbor that you are less than, you're always shown by the universe that you are less than. Because that's how the law of attraction works. And even I was trying to break the law of attraction for her experience, but I couldn't. So I just shared this, that every moment is an opportunity to grow and do the right thing. And it felt good to do the right thing because I felt connected to her, because we were just now having this interactive dance, and I was just sending so much love to her soul, helping her see, like mirroring that you are beautiful, you are a beautiful mother, you are a wonderful human being. I was holding that space for her, and she was silly and funny with her daughter within a few minutes. She pulled out of the, I'm less than, to enjoying her time there. Okay, so now we're going to get our activities out, and we're going to work a little worksheet that was written by Neil Donald Walsh in the book New Revelations. And like you know, well, you can fill them in or you can just go through it with us. And like they said, you can download it if you're watching on our website. There's a link to download it. You will have to print it though. And that will be in 1 minute. And so I just want to take you through this, and if something resonates with you, and if it doesn't, here's the first question. There are 5 things you can choose now if changing your world and the self-destructive direction in which it is moving is what you wish to achieve. You can choose to acknowledge that some of your old beliefs about God and about life are no longer working. What beliefs would you say are the ones that are no longer working for you? And then also we come together afterwards and we can talk about these things in the fellowship hall afterwards with me. I have a hearing thing. You know what? You want to play some music while we're doing this activity? That'd be great. You can choose to acknowledge that there is something you do not understand about God and about life, the understanding of which will change everything. If you have a question about something regarding God and or about life, this is your chance to ask it. Put it out to the universe to answer it in your meditation or in your dreams this week. You can choose to be willing for a new understanding of God and life to now be brought forth, an understanding that could produce a new way of life on your planet. This is the moment where you surrender and vibrationally align yourself into a state of allowance for a new understanding to come. And I hope you're understanding that what you're looking at is the idea of what God was taught to you versus what you actually feel about God in your life, as far as being an expression, as an expansion of, and it not being separate from you. How would that change things for you? That the favor is always there, in the very midst of you, if you will let it in. You can choose to be courageous enough to explore and examine this new understanding. And if it aligns with your inner truth and knowing, to enlarge your belief system to include it. This wasn't really a question, that was just one of his. You can choose to live your lives as demonstrations of your highest and grandest beliefs, rather than as denials of them. The question, what could you demonstrate today or this week in your life that could prove to yourself that your unpleasant beliefs no longer have power and your highest beliefs are your superpower? you probably are asking, these are the 5 steps to peace, and if you take them, you can shift everything on your planet. Why all this emphasis on God and our beliefs? Why are you not telling us to change our worldwide political or economic systems? Why are you not telling us to change our laws and stop our violence and share our resources and discontinue our discrimination and halt our oppression and redistribute our abundance and end our wars and live in peace? Because those are all changes in behavior. Why are you talking about beliefs when what we need to do is change behaviors? Because beliefs create behaviors. And you can change a behavior, but it'll be temporary until the belief is changed. Marianne Williamson goes on. You can keep going. This is wonderful. I like the music. She wrote, "Our greatest fear. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be? Brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Most humans try to change things by focusing on behaviors. They keep thinking they can make things better by doing something. So everyone is running around trying to figure out what they can do. The focus is on doing something rather than on believing something. But radical forces within your societies have always sought to change things by using the power of thought, not action. For they know that thought produces action. Get a person thinking a certain way, and you can get a person to act a certain way. It is not easily done the other way around. I remember the moment my belief in being a separate self apart from others was shattered. And I'm going to tell you this story. Many of you have heard it before. My family used to go hiking down in the Havasu Falls, which is a 12, 14-mile hike down into the Grand Canyon. And we'd live off of the food that we brought down there for 2 weeks out of backpacks, and we carried all of our stuff in. It was rugged. And just like the nails, I am a little bit bougie. I wasn't supposed to be born in this family. So like the camping and like the really hot summer and the backpacks and the being kind of dirty the whole time was just like, it was a lot. And when it was time to leave, usually the last few days you're pretty hungry because your rations have run pretty short and what you're eating is gross. And it was just like 2 days of just like, and you can't wait to leave, but you don't want to have to do the 13-mile hike back out of the Grand Canyon, which is all uphill on the way out. It's down on the way in. And I was in a really bad mood. And I had my boyfriend at the time, so I was probably like 18 or 19, carrying the backpacks out, and I'm just grumbling, and we're all together. I'm just grumbling, and I was a fiery person then. I'm still a fiery person, but I've managed it through. Life has broken me now, okay? I wasn't broken yet. I've been broken open, I mean. And we were hiking out, and I was complaining and annoyed and just, And none of them are talking back to me or anything. They're just letting me be like this because they know I'm in a mood. Like, that's kind of how I was. I was probably hangry at that point, and hot, and dirty, and all the things I don't like to be. And it's dark out because we'd hike out at night because it's cooler at night. And so we're at this one point where it's usually a big, huge sand area between the canyon walls. But at some points, there's a trail that you have to go on that has been built to get you around turbulent areas. And at this specific point, we were on one of these thin areas. It's like 4 or 5 feet wide with big backpacks on. And we're all on that. There's nowhere we can go. And this crashing sound starts coming down the canyon. And it looks like lightning bolts are coming down the canyon, just smashing, screaming, canyon walls, like unbelievable. What is coming down here? I mean, was it a tidal wave? We didn't know what it was, but we were seeing light coming towards us. And all of a sudden, right before we can see it, we see that it's a horse that's completely going crazy. And it's got to pass us all on a path this big with its saddle completely loose, smashing all over the place. He's been spooked or something. And it comes flying by us, and it literally, we all have to be able to jump in a certain way so that we were not crushed. And somehow my entire family survived this horse going by us, completely insane. And it was one of those moments like your life just flew in front of you. And my dad said, "Do you realize how powerful your energy is?" After I've just been bringing them all down for hours on this hike. "Do you realize that you created that?" And in my family, we knew that we did. It wasn't like, that's a joke. That sounds funny, but when you're raised that way, I created that kind of suffering in that animal because of what I was willing to bring all of my family's energy down in the most holiest, most sacred Native American places because I was selfish and I didn't care that it was annoying all of them. But then in that moment, my family could have been killed because what I was sharing to the universe. And that horse ended up jumping to its death, and it died. I've had to carry that my whole life. We were told that when we got out to the top of the mesa. I know now that my vibrationally is matched immediately. What am I giving to my children, to my partners, to my life? That's when you understand the power of your vibration. When you use it for good, you will be a mystic. You will be a healer. You will be the greatest conduit of the light that is being called. But if you use it for bad, and you want to talk about others, and you want to make people wrong, and you want to still live in not having enough, and you want to just keep talking yourself out of your divine heritage, about your divine kindness, your divine power, you're just adding to this discord of this world. So I was destroying everyone's energy around me. But in the end, I had a new belief. Let's not have it be something as dangerous as that for you to build a new belief. So the first 3 of the 5 fallacies about life, this is one of the most dangerous beliefs we can have. And it's this: human beings are separate from each other. This is a bad one. We got to always get rid of this. Human beings are separate from each other. So changing is a behavior. But believing, do you believe that the climate is changing? If you do, are you changing your behavior to become a co-creator with spirit, to do whatever you can for your human brothers and sisters and animals and planet and grass and trees and everything else? To do what is right, to make the difference that each person needs to take to avoid complete extinction? Do you believe that the climate is changing? Then we have to change every single behavior that has to do with, right? That's the co-creator that we're being asked to be. climate crisis has already been solved. We already have the facts and solutions. All we have to do is to wake up and change. So it starts with, do we believe climate change is real? This is the greatest emergency of our life right here. And we're all in it together. So now I'm going to ask Joel to play, and we're going to go into more of your beautiful music, because I'm just going to use you the whole time. We're going to go into an inner contemplation and let these words from Spirit through you hold you and help you and heal you and feel inspired and not in fear. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to inspire you, to remind you of the power that you are. Go be a golden example of what you know you are and stop talking yourself out of it. I know the main question on many of our hearts for God, Spirit, Source is this: do you think we will ever learn? Do you think we will ever find a way to get along? To do something as simple as live together in peace and harmony and happiness? And this is what I think Spirit's message to us would be. You will, if you will give up your false beliefs and the human constructions you have built up around them. I have come here to help you. I have always been here to help you, through you. I am here. I have never left. That which you are cannot leave you, but remains within you always. And so, even before you ask, it will be answered through you. Yet you do not know this because you do not know me in you. You imagine me to have separated myself from you. You imagine yourselves to be separated from each other. Neither imagining is true, and neither serves you. The first three of the 5 fallacies about life: human beings are separate from each other. There is not enough of what human beings need to be happy is the second one. And the third one is, to get the stuff of which there is not enough, human beings must compete with each other. And this is what creates the crisis, the violence, the killing and war in and of themselves. And we ask, how did we ever get to that third fallacy about life, the one about competition? As soon as you accepted that there was not enough for everyone, not enough of the stuff of life, you concluded that you have to do whatever it takes to make sure that you and yours had enough. In the beginning, you just reached out and took it. In this scenario, the hand with the most muscles won. So I'm here to tell you this, my beloved children. I have come here to help you through you. I have always been here to help you through you. I am here. I have never left. That which you are cannot leave you, but remains within you always. And so, even before you ask, it will be answered. And you guys, remember, you are all in this together. You are all one. Now go out there and believe that change is possible, that a healed world is possible, and treat others, especially the ones you don't agree with, as you would like to be treated. And believing means you can be the change you want to see in this world. And I want you to know that I see you, and I know your heart, And together, you will all create a new world of peace and harmony and a healed planet. I love you, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Amen.
Well, she's making up with these talks, she's making up for a lot of the karma she created. You don't know the half of the story about that canyon trip. When that horse was running crazy, wild, about to run by us, we all jumped up against the side of the wall, and I kept my eyes on Syntysche. And when it was over, I said to her, "Did you really punch that horse in the nose as it went by?" She was in a terrible mood, but that did change it a little bit. Anyway, it's been another great talk. You'll remember that particular illustration right there. It is true that we have to become more mindful of what we allow ourselves to believe about ourselves. That's the secret here. And now we have an opportunity to give back. And those of you that are watching this live stream, you have these different ways that you can give to Unity of Boulder. And we can all just bring to mind that financial gift we'd like to make. And let's bless it with this offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive because I give. And so it is. And we have Marcy, beautiful voice to listen to again.
Well, it looks like this is my last song at Unity. And I wrote this a few months ago, and it's kind of about my experience here, and it goes out to the Groverlands, because I'm so deeply appreciative of you guys, and just in deep gratitude for this whole place. So thank you. And yeah, it's called If There's No Tomorrow. Started as the sound man 14 years ago. Then I finally joined the band the day Rob had to go. My mom would watch on live stream as we watched the years go by. I'm thinking if there's no tomorrow and we only have today, before I move 1,000 miles away, I wanna say, Norma, Jack, and Syntysche, I owe a lot to you. Although they're in California, my boys both know what's true. The Uniteens and lock-ins were locking in their roots. I'm thinking if there's no tomorrow and we only have today, before I move 1,000 miles away, I wanna say I'm excited for tomorrow. All although it's bittersweet, and it's hard to leave, 'cause part of me will always be here at Unity. There's nothing bad about it. There's just good in this goodbye. I'm thinking if there's no tomorrow and we only have today, before I move 1,000 miles away, I wanna say that I'm excited for tomorrow, although it's so bittersweet and it's hard to leave, 'cause part of me will always be here at Unity.
Where's Norma? Where's Norma? Is Norma out there? Is she working downstairs? Joel, there's no way we could ever give you a gift that's worth all you've given us over the years. There's no way. Just want to let you know that you are in our hearts and will always be, and you've added such beauty and love to this particular service, to these people, to Unity over all these years. It's like we had a memorial service yesterday for Mira, who was a member of the choir for so many years and everything. And after it was over, we had a fellowship, and somebody at the fellowship said to me, it's like watching the end of an era, the end of an amazing era. We used to do 1,000 people on Sunday, and we're not there now, but it's not the end of an era. It's the beginning of a whole new way of life. This is what's going to occur. We're going to watch it happen. We're going to watch it happen together. And your love and inspiration has led us to this place where we have the faith to know that we are going to see a brand new day of love, peace, compassion.
And I want to say something, because Joel and I have performed together on Wednesday nights. We did all sorts of amazing collaborations, and a few years ago I was at dinner with him, with Mike and his beautiful wife of 8 years, and this woman came into his life as like a golden gift, because his talents are too big for this stage. He is going to Tennessee, and he's going to the songs he's written are going to get so famous. So you're really seeing this big jumping off moment. That's what Unity's about. This is the jumping off place for so much more in your life, when you really, really get it. And he was planting his seeds, and he asked, and it was given. And he did the hard work these years after he had planted that seed, shared that with me. And I knew when he said that, I was like, he's going to leave, because he also says Tammy, that's one of the greatest wives on the planet, who has blown that love and that kindness into his talent. And what a team. And they're going to go blow minds in Tennessee. So let's see them doing that. And we're so proud, so proud.
You have something to say? You want to say anything? Just a card and a gift.
Thank you.
Right?
Well, thank you. Gosh.
We'll be keeping up with your exploits, what you're doing down in Tennessee. Yeah.
Whenever you're back, just let us know.
Whenever you're, that's right.
I appreciate it, and I love you guys.
Love you
We
doing
love
that.
you too. I'll be at your house in a couple weeks anyways. Okay.
All right.
All right, let's all rise and let's close with recognizing what's going on in Ukraine and knowing that collectively we can bring healing for these moments. We always do this just to recognize that we are part of the healing of this world. Let's go into a happier song now. I release.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit come alive, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free.
And if you want to join our discussion group, they'll be in the fellowship hall as well. We also have prayer partners available to you. If you're facing a challenge, just stay seated and they will come and pray with you. Thank you for coming. We'll see you next week. And it's just one service at 11.